Recorded Books presents an unabridged recording of The Sisters Grimm, Book 7, The Everafter War, by Michael Buckley, narrated by L.J. Ganser and directed by Abigail McHugh.
Sabrina stood aghast, shocked from the discovery she had just made, and the wave of emotions that accompanied it. Terror, betrayal, and disgust filled her head, sending mixed signals to every part of her body. One moment, she wanted to run, to put as much distance between her and the figure standing before her as possible. The next, she wanted to snatch him by the collar and shake him in anger until he explained himself. "You? You're the master? You're the leader of the Scarlet Hand?" "Yes," he said calmly. "But you—" Daphne said, trembling. "But I was your friend? Is that what you were going to say?" "Yes! I trusted you! We all trusted you!" Sabrina cried. "Then I'm afraid you've made a terrible mistake." Chapter 1. 6 days earlier. Sabrina Grimm's life was a collection of odd events, but sitting in her grandmother's living room with 3 massive brown bears might have been the oddest of them all. The bears had arrived in the company of a curly-haired blonde woman with dazzling eyes. Her face was round and tanned, with dimples in her cheeks, and a dainty nose sprinkled with golden freckles. Her name was Goldilocks. Yes, the Goldilocks, only 20 years older and overflowing with a nervous energy that kept her rushing around the living room rearranging furniture to her liking. She moved lamps and rugs, switched chairs with tables, and even took down family portraits and rehung them on different walls. When she moved something, she would step back and look at it, mutter something incomprehensible to herself, stick her tongue out, and then move it again. If she liked where it landed, she would beam with pride and say, "Just right." Sabrina sat uncomfortably in a love seat across from the group. Her sister Daphne sat next to her, chewing on her palm, a quirky habit she had when she was very excited or happy. The only other witness to Sabrina's strange company was the family's 200-pound Great Dane, Elvis. He seemed just as nervous as Sabrina. The dog's head swung back and forth from Goldilocks to the bears, and then to Sabrina. He let out a soft, confused whine. Sabrina shrugged at him. "Welcome to Ferryport Landing, Elvis." The dog let out a soft bark. "How long are we going to wait?" Sabrina whispered to her sister. "Granny said she'd come and get us," Daphne whispered back. "Maybe we should offer them something to drink to be polite." Sabrina nodded. "Would anyone like anything to drink?" The bears grunted and huffed, and the blonde woman responded in a series of short grunts. When they had finished chatting, Goldilocks turned to Sabrina and informed her that the biggest of the bears liked Earl Grey tea, very hot. The second biggest would prefer hers iced. The littlest of the bears would love some chocolate milk if it wasn't too much trouble. Being from New York City, Sabrina had seen many crazy people talking to animals. She'd once seen a man discuss Napoleon's defeat at Waterloo with a one-eyed mutt and its filthy rubber chew toy. In this case, however, the woman talking to the animals wasn't crazy. Animals really did talk to her. The girls excused themselves and went into the kitchen with Elvis in tow. There, they found a little girl in red pajamas huddling in the corner. She had a sad face framed by amber curls that fell across her shoulders. Her name was Red Riding Hood. Sabrina immediately wished she had stayed in the living room with the bears. Red had been a homicidal lunatic the day before, but when she was cured, Granny had invited the child to live with the Grimms. "Are they gone yet?" Red asked. She was extremely shy. "No," Daphne said, "but they're friends. You don't have to hide in the kitchen." Red didn't look convinced. Daphne went to work preparing the drinks while Sabrina spied on Goldilocks through a crack in the kitchen door. Goldilocks was still rushing around the room, reorganizing the Grimm's possessions. "She's giving me a headache," Sabrina said. "Don't spy," Daphne scolded. "It's rude." I can't help myself. Aren't you curious about her? I mean, what did Dad see in her?" She studied the woman's features. Goldilocks was pretty, and she seemed nice in a ditzy kind of way, but she was no Veronica Grimm. Sabrina's mother was a knockout. "Love is weird," Daphne said. "We can't know why Dad was in love with her." Sabrina laughed. "What do you know? You're only—" She stopped herself when her sister flashed her an angry look. She was already treading on thin ice with Daphne. She didn't need to make their relationship any worse. "Yeah, that's true. We can't know." "Red, are you going to join us?" Daphne asked the little girl. Red shook her head vigorously and sank back into her hiding space.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.